I'd like to call our legislative meeting to order for January the 15th. We always start out with silent prayer and a pledge of allegiance. If you could take a moment for silent prayer. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If we could do introductions, please.
Christy Rischel, Assistant Clerk.
Leslie Hervey, Clerk to the Board.
Hamilton County Commissioner Alicia Reese.
Jeff Aludo, County Administrator.
Patrick Dressing, Assistant Prosecuting Attorney.
Stephanie Summerall Dumas, President of the Board. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to excuse Commissioner Driehaus.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Our next order of business is approval of the minutes of the previous session. Is there a motion?
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Okay, very good. We have some public comments. I have 4 cards here, and if you came in late and you'd like to give a public comment, please fill out a card in the back. And our first speaker is Joanna Glover. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here today. So good morning, Hamilton County Commissioners. My name is Joanna Glover. I'm here on behalf of YWCA of Greater Cincinnati to speak in support of our Youth Violence Prevention Program. This program is currently funded through the Hamilton County Job and Family Services. On January 13th, we learned that a $100,000 cut was proposed. I'm here today to respectfully ask that you keep funding at the current level of $250,000 through 2027. In 2025, we reached over 2,100 students in 13 schools across Hamilton County. Our staff worked directly inside schools over multiple weeks, building trust with students and having honest conversations about healthy relationships, consent, boundaries, and also how to help a friend who may be experiencing domestic violence. This work matters. 97% of our students told us that this information is needed throughout all high schools. When we asked what they learned during some of their sessions, they replied, how to treat girls, respect my mom, how to advocate for help to help others, and also to help myself. Let relationship go at your own pace. Don't rush. One story really captured the impact. Recently, our lead advocate, Melanie Ridgway, recently ran into a male former student who is now in college. He told her, I'm in a healthy relationship because of what I learned in your session, Miss Melanie. That's prevention working. We are asking you to maintain funding at $250,000 through 2027 so this program can continue to teach our young people before the violence begins and help build safer futures for families across Hamilton County. Thank you for your time, your leadership, and also your commitment to our youth. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you for your time. Kristen Triplin, you're behind the podium. I didn't see you. Welcome.
That's okay. Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Kristen Smith-Shrimplin, President and CEO of Women Helping Women. First, we want to acknowledge we understand the weight you are carrying in trying to make really, really difficult decisions. There are no easy answers here. The math is very, very difficult, and it's not going to meet the needs, and we honor that. That's why we're not asking you to keep us at $400,000. That's our current contract. We're coming to you with a solution. We're coming to you with partnership. We're coming to you understanding we got to do our part. So we did some financial modeling, programmatic modeling. We are asking that you fund us at $250,000, and here's what that will get us. With $400,000 right now, we're in 25 Hamilton County schools, not including our CPS work, and we're impacting over 2,000 students. We can keep doing that at $250,000. You talked a lot on Tuesday about leverage. finding our sources. We're committed to that. Commissioner Reese, Vice President, you talked about we can't go back to the old ways, that we have to continue investing in youth. We support that. Our agency serves the most survivors in this region. It's devastating, the increases we're seeing. We activated over 43,000 crisis responses last year to over 9,300 survivors. Prevention matters because we're trying to disrupt that pipeline upstream. And I wish I could tell you, and we're in those 25 schools with over 2,000 youth doing 10,000 services, that we're not getting disclosures of sexual assault, rape, and physical dating violence, but we are. So we'll do our part, and we ask you to meet us at $250,000. Thank you.
Thank you. Rebecca Surendorf, welcome.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm here on behalf of my daughters. I'm Rebecca Surendorf. I'm the mother of 4 children here in Hamilton County, and I'm the co-founder of Ohioans for Child Protection, which is a grassroots effort of parents for the prevention of child sex abuse and paths to justice for survivors. I first became aware of the work of Women Helping Women in Prevention Education Services when my oldest daughter, Ava, was on the Hamilton County Commission for Women and Girls. Her experience with the commission later inspired her younger sister, Nora, to successfully bring Prevent and Empower programming to our school district. Nora, in turn, wanted to further this work, and she too joined the county commission this year. My youngest daughter, Helen, inspired by both her sisters and a loved one that was a victim of gender-based violence, started an annual lemonade stand to support Women Helping Women's work in our community. The Center for Community Solutions found in their 2024 Status of Girls report that around 21% of Ohio girls have experienced sexual violence in the last 12 months, compared to 17.9 nationwide. I know our commissioners care deeply about gender-based violence prevention and intervention strategies. I'm here today because Women Helping Women does the most prevention work in our county. With the current county contract, Women Helping Women works directly with 25 Hamilton County schools. With a reduced contract at 32.5%, a new award amount of $250,000, they can continue their prevention work in our county and do their part to address the deficit. Thank you.
Thank you. Our final speaker is Donna Shockley. Welcome.
Good morning, Hamilton County Commissioners. My name is Donna Shockley, and I serve as the Senior Director of Systems Programs overseeing our prevention programming. While I speak today as a professional, I also speak as a Hamilton County resident and a grandmother of 2 bright children who deserves a safe and healthy future. As someone who works with students every day, I know how deeply they need trusted adults and clear, practical education and healthy relationships, boundaries, consent, and how to step in safely when someone is being harmed. That is exactly what Prevent and Empower provides. Our educators help young people recognize harmful behaviors, early understand, respect, and consent, know where to go for help, and most importantly, believe their voice matters, they can make a difference, they are supported and safe to speak up. As CPS Superintendent Shauna Murphy has emphasized, young people are not alone. There are advocates and people to talk to. Women Helping Women has consistently, over many years, done an incredible job of helping survivors who are in crisis, who need intervention and support to work through and navigate personal situations. Women Helping Women delivers more prevention education than any other agency in Hamilton County. Under our current contract, Women Helping Women works in 25 Hamilton County schools, not including CPS, and provides prevention education to more than 2,000 students, not including Cincinnati youth served through separate funding streams. However, the current $400,000 contract was recently recommended to be reduced by 62.5% to $150,000. A cut of that size will eliminate prevention access for thousands of students who are asking for help, asking for tools, and asking for support long before a crisis occurs. Women Helping Women has presented a reasonable, responsible, sustainable solution with a 32.5% reduction instead of a 62.5% for a new award of $250,000. Women Helping Women can continue serving all 25 counties, Hamilton schools. Thank you for investing in our youth and for your continued partnership.
Thank you for your comments. Thank you all. Do we have anyone online? No. Thank you. We'll move forward to comments and motions. Commissioner Vice President Reese.
Thank you very much, and thank you for all of you who have come down today regarding some outstanding programs. So thank you all for being here. A couple of things that I have. Number one is this weekend we are celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Birthday, and it will have a number of activities. The 5th Jubilee Singers are coming to town. They'll be at the National Underground Railroad this Sunday. Of course, there's so many activities, but also Monday, the 21st Annual King Legacy Celebration. United in Purpose is the theme, and there'll be a breakfast at the Underground Railroad Freedom Center, and the 5th Jubilee Singers will also be there. Then it'll be followed then that's at 8:30 a.m. 10:30 a.m. The march begins from the National Underground Railroad Freedom Center to Washington Park, and then after that, then there's a program at Music Hall, and I understand that it's free to go to the Freedom Center on that day. Certainly stuff that's happening at the Union Terminal. So there are a number of activities. I just want to say that as we are celebrating, it's very important because a lot of the work and the challenges of Dr. King are alive today. And so this won't be just a ceremonial walk and a ceremonial march. And there have been efforts to even erase Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his work and so many other people. And my philosophy and my spiritual faith is that you can't erase what God creates. And so it cannot be erased. And I would encourage people to participate in any way that they can. They've got a lot of programs that are happening. But as we participate, understand that these things happen under great changing, great tough times. And so there's so many things that you're reading about, I'm seeing. They say, okay, DEI, they like to put labels on stuff, affirmative action, those kind of things. And I think it's so important to understand that those things are why people had to read your resume. It didn't guarantee you the job, but before then, if you didn't have the hookup, cousin or brother or uncle or somebody in position, then it didn't matter if you went to college, it didn't matter what your resume, doesn't matter about your LinkedIn. They're not reading the resumes. And so I think it's so important when we talk about these different issues is that we collect taxes from everybody. Do you know on that day, everybody's equal? They take everybody's taxes. Somehow Uncle Sam finds everybody. You don't have to fill out no paperwork. You don't have to show that you're a minority business, anything. You're equal on tax day and equal every other day. So when they start talking issues about my tax dollars, we all pay taxes. But when you look at the statistics, people were not even given the opportunities to even have their resumes read. And so it wasn't about qualifications. It was the fact that they weren't even reading your resume. Now, once they read the resume, then you get an opportunity to try to compete for the position, the job, and the contracts. So when you think about Dr. King, he's got a lot of stuff done: Voting Rights Act, contract compliance, being able to be in hotels. I mean, can you imagine we're sitting up here and we're talking about hotel, motel, tax fund, and we're up here talking about it when there was a time we couldn't even walk into the hotel. And so when you go to these places, you go inside Music Hall, you walk on the banks this weekend. And I would encourage you also to go to the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame. 350,000 people been through there. You could go Louise Sharpshire, when we sing that song, We Shall Overcome. You can go and see the lady that wrote the song. We can't have taxation without participation. And that's what King and others. So when you get on the bus, we say, oh, go Metro. We got a new car. We got a new ride. We couldn't even get on the bus. And if we did, we had to go to the back. So all these things that we are beneficiaries of, we're supposed to build on them and move forward, not go backwards. So as we're out this weekend and we're celebrating and then not letting anyone tarnish. They'll come out this and that and memes and Facebooks and all these different things. But isn't it amazing they didn't have memes, they didn't have Facebooks, but they was able to change America. And they did it with a lot of faith. So I wanted to highlight that because a lot of times we take things for granted and we think, oh, this is just easy breezy. But so many that we lost. So many that we lost. So, and getting that holiday was not easy. Took many, many, many years. Many of us, on our birthdays, we play Stevie Wonder for our own birthday. But the song was written, and Coretta Scott King never gave up. And it took years and years and years to get this holiday. So I wanted to just highlight that as we go into this King holiday this year. I think it even has more specialness, and it should renew us to have a new energy. The other thing I wanted to say that I wanted to also say that I got a chance to go to Nashville, Tennessee this past weekend. My nephew, Jalen Reese, he's a freshman, he plays for LSU, and they had a tough game last night. I've been up all night, so I'm so tired right now. They lost it at the buzzer, but he played a heck of a game. But we went to Nashville to see him, but while I was there, I said, I have to stop by the National African American Museum of Music. And that was an incredible place, and I want to thank them because when we were looking at doing the Black Music Walk of Fame, their former CEO was very helpful at the beginning in meeting with us and talking with us by Zoom, but I got a chance to see it, and it is incredible. It is very, very nice. I also went by their Nashville Walk of Fame, and it's nice, but I think we got something a little more special with our Walk of Fame, but I did get a chance to see it and see some of the things that they were doing. So those are my comments for right now. And we'll have some other dates next week that I'll remind people of that are coming in March. But I want people to concentrate on the Dr. King weekend. And we concentrate on I Have a Dream. And I got a chance to speak at the 50th anniversary of the March on Washington. And what I said then, and it was just a blessing to have that opportunity to stand where he stood, I said, no more temporary solutions to permanent problems. And that has been my fight ever since. We got to get things that are permanent and make the dream real. So thank you.
Thank you. I have a few comments I'd like to make. First of all, I wore green on purpose. And because the county is in the forefront of my mind always, and especially as president, even more so. And green stands for growth, regrowth, renewal, prosperity. And right now, we're in a difficult time right now, trying to make choices. So all this green is on purpose to make us think about where we're going to go. If we got through COVID, we can get through this. I have a few announcements I'd like to make as far as my activities. I was involved in a swearing-in ceremony for the Board of Revision. We have approximately 10 people that were appointed for the Commissioner's Office to look at, to be a part of the Board of Revision. I had a local interview with Local 12 as regards to the Nazi incident that happened in Lincoln Heights on February the 2nd. We will be providing a proclamation to Lincoln Heights for Unity Day for them as they pull together and recognize that date. Channel 5 also I interviewed as it relates to renovation of Paycor, and we're getting started with that. Visit since the executive committee meeting, we had an executive session to talk about interim CEOs and where we're moving forward to try and fill that position. And I don't know if you haven't been there, the Cincinnati Convention Center is absolutely beautiful. So just go in there and take a look, and I'm sure there'll be other activities you'll be a part of. And then I was participating in the Hamilton County Capital Budget Prioritization Task Force. It's a group of resident CEOs that meet, about 20 of us, to talk about state capital funding and reviewing applications to see who should get funding for 2027. And I have a few notes also, as Dr. Martin Luther King was also on my mind, and I'd like to say a few words about that. And as we observe the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, we pause to remember Dr. King's legacy. It was not only about protest, it was about policy, fairness, and the moral responsibility of government. Dr. King reminded us that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And in Hamilton County, that truth is not an abstract for us. We believe in that. It shows us that when families struggle to stay housed, and when seniors must choose between food and medication, and when opportunity sometimes depends on your zip code, we can't let that happen. While Martin Luther King Jr. Day has long been recognized as a county holiday, I believe recognition must always be meaningful. Honoring Dr. King requires more than observance. It requires action, accountability, and a commitment to equity in the decisions that we make. The MLK holiday is not just a day of remembrance. It is a call to action. It challenges all of us as county leaders to ensure that dignity, fairness, and opportunity guide our work for every resident in Hamilton County. In addition, I was thinking about something I had seen on the news, the city of Cincinnati, and they were announcing they had like $5.4 million. They didn't know where to put it for youth and public safety. And I just wrote something about that. The city has monies. They're trying to determine what to do with it for our youth and public safety. Hamilton County is facing a difficult reality of having to cut essential youth programs due to budget constraints. At the same time, the city of Cincinnati has additional resources that could help sustain these programs, not only youth, but also, as we talked about, women helping women. I strongly urge the city to partner with the county and contribute funding so that no child in our community loses access to critical opportunities. Our young people's future should not be limited by unused resources. And I'm asking the administrator, which he meets with Cheryl Long a lot, if you can discuss that issue with Cheryl Long and see if we can, we'll be happy to take some of that money that they're trying to figure out what to do with. And that's all I have right now. I'll turn it over to Jeff Aludo, our administrator.
Thank you, commissioners. And actually, I don't have any real BILEAB comments today. And I believe both BILEAB agenda items are appointments that I'll gladly defer to you unless you'd like me to take them.
I can take the appointments. That would be fine. BILEAB 1 is a resolution approving a member to the Economic and Community Support Advisory Council, Gregory Parker. And BILEAB 2 is a resolution reappointing a member to the Hamilton County Board of Zoning Appeals, Daniel Sullivan. I make a motion to accept the nominations.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas?
Yes.
Commissioner Reese?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So we will move forward then with our regular agenda. Our engineers here. Welcome.
Good morning and Happy New Year. Several items today. Item number 1 is a resolution setting a viewing and hearing date for the vacation of Buffler Lane and El Marie Drive in Columbia Township. The board received this request in October. We would like to set the viewing date for the 21st of this month and the hearing date for the 29th. The petitioners will prepare and submit a survey plat to the engineer, and we will get that report to you prior to that hearing date. Item number 2 is a resolution authorizing a second extension and amendment to the Ohio Department of Transportation agreement for repair of cable guardrail on the county portion of Ronald Reagan Highway. Just in case you don't know, Ronald Reagan Highway is State Route 126 from Montgomery Road to Colerain Avenue. From Colerain Avenue to I-275, it is a county road. We contract with ODOT to do some maintenance work there because we don't have the expertise for cable guardrail, and they have their crews out there. The next item is
Hold on
snow and
a
ice.
second.
Yes.
Is it okay if he goes through all of them and then we vote? Okay, okay.
The next item is also for Cross County Highway. Number 3 is the extension with ODOT for snow and ice removal for that portion of Cross County Highway. Item number 4 is a resolution for the second extension and amendment to ODOT for mowing of that portion of Ronald Reagan Highway. All these funds come out of the road and bridge funds. ODOT is already doing the work out there, so we are letting them continue, and we compensate them for that. Item number 5 is a resolution for a consultant agreement with Norfolk Southern Railroad Corporation for preliminary engineering services for our bridge project on East Sharon Road that goes over their rail yards in the amount of $16,118, and this comes out of the permissive auto funds. Item number 6 is a resolution approving the third amendment to the agreement with Bearbecker for engineering services on Fields Erdel and Macaulay Road improvements located in Sharonville and Sycamore Township. This amendment is $7,918 for right-of-way work and comes out of permissive auto funds. Item number 7 is a resolution for a consultant agreement with Burgess and Nyepel for the Round Bottom Road project from Riverside Park at the edge of Newtown to the Claremont County Corp line in Anderson Township. The agreement amount is for $99,098. This was a project that we received funding for from the Flood Mitigation Assistance federal grant, which will pay 75% of that. The remaining balance will come from permissive auto funds, and this is to be completed by May of this year. Item number 8 is a resolution ordering the county engineer to install no parking signs on both sides of Muddy Creek Road, County Road 141, from the center line of Need Road to the center line of Wingham Drive. Parking in that area obstructs the sight distance for vehicles exiting Wingham Drive. This will allow more safe movement from that area.
Thank you. I like seeing the zeros on there. And you're always good, your department, leveraging the money that we have. So I'll open it up for any comments or questions. No questions. Okay. I'd like to make a motion to pass item 1 through 8.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas?
Yes.
Commissioner Reese?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to our consent agenda items.
Thank you, Commissioners. I'll walk through the consent agenda items here, which start with number 9 on your agenda. Item number 9 is a resolution authorizing the use of credit cards in the Board of Elections at the amount of $28,250. Item number 10 is authorizing the award of an invitation to bid an agreement with Triton Services for 800 Broadway's low-rise air handling unit replacements at $620,000. Item 11 is authorizing the award of an invitation to bid and agreement with Triton Services for the 800 Broadway 6th floor plumbing and electrical project at $121,000. Item number 12 is the award of an invitation to bid and agreement with Triton Services for the renovation of the 4th floor at the Hamilton County Central Campus. This is the Developmental Disability Services floor. That is for $1.69 million. Item number 13 is authorizing an agreement with DeBra Kemple and the board for new security door access controls at the Dane Animal Shelter for $298,840. Item number 14 is the award of an invitation to bid and agreement between the Geiler Company and the county for the Justice Center condenser water pump replacement project for $134,513. Item 15 is the monthly investment report for the month of December 2025 from the county treasurer, which is recommended to receive for the record. And that is your consent agenda, commissioners.
Thank you. And Jeff, I mentioned the first meeting as president. I wanted to make sure that we indicate to the residents that are watching and the ones that are here, I would say we have $628,000 for 800 Broadway. And I was saying that we need to be sure to indicate what pot it's coming out of, because people think, well, you don't have 150,000. How can you have 600? So I think we need to be very clear. And I also said that the people that are listening and watching, do your research about not only where the money is coming from, but how votes are being taken. So can you just kind of explain a couple of those?
Yeah, so these all to me look like they would be general fund projects, commissioners, with the exception of item number 12, which is which would be funded through DDS, so that the renovation of their central campus floor would be funded by DDS.
Okay. All right, thank you. Any questions or comments?
No questions.
Very good. Well, I'm going to make a motion that we pass item 9 through 15.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
No further business to come before the board? Okay,
I'm
sure.
sorry. One question, just if you can provide for us, board members, when, because I want to make sure before any cuts are made. Yeah, Mr. Ludo,
Okay.
sorry. On the youth employment, the PowerPoint said that we would be able to help 2,000 youth, and I had asked about that, but then the Office of Youth contacted my office and said they needed to talk because they would only be able to help 100 youth. Can you don't have to do it today, but can you get something to us? Because I don't want to make any cuts with, now we can only help 100 youth, because we're supposed to do the Youth Employment Day, which we always have a lot of youth. And now they're saying they want to move to coaching. I don't know we coaching if you ain't got no job, but he said only can do 100 youth. So we need to make sure, because I know I asked that question, and I think us as board members probably need to make sure we've got.
Yeah, we'll follow up on that, commissioners, and just to on that, in that same vein, JFS right now is working on, after hearing the discussion the other day, hearing board policy priorities, they're working on massaging the recommendations that they had initially come forward with to provide something back to the board that hopefully meets with some of the policy direction of the board. There's still a lot of reductions that need to be made, but they're doing their best to try to see where they can put some things, come back with another recommendation that may meet the policy direction of the board a little bit better. So I will follow up in that vein. Bottom line, that won't come to the board probably until next Thursday, so nothing official is going to happen until then anyway. So, and that would be something that the board would then, as we look to transfer some of those children's services levy responsibilities to the general fund, the board could then also approve the broader slate as well.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I know I'm voting on the right numbers. And then I saw that JFS is participating, and going back to President Dumas's point, the city has a job fair and we're participating. And if we don't have any jobs, then when we get ready to do our job countywide, we have nothing. So can you just maybe follow up so we just kind of getting,
Yep,
don't have mixed
absolutely.
signals?
Yep,
That'd be
yep,
great.
absolutely.
And then the last thing I forgot to say, Mr. President Dumas, all three of us probably know, but it has been filed. I got the word from our prosecutor, Connie Pillage, has indicated that we have joined the lawsuit on insulin, high insulin prices, and I think it just happened today. So I know all three of us were talked to about it, but I wanted to let them know, she indicated to me it has been filed, we're joining the fight, against these high insulin prices. And I just couldn't think of a better timing right now when people are struggling to pay for medicine, and the insulin is not optional. So just wanted to let people know that Hamilton County now has joined the lawsuit and joined the fight. And I want to thank Prosecutor Connie Pillage for doing that on behalf of our county.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is anyone here from JFS? I didn't think I saw anyone. And my concern, not concern, because I know it'll work out, is that the additional comments that were made today, hopefully they're watching and they will put that into the mix as they look at strategically making some changes. Okay? Okay. And lastly, you made me remember, but on the 21st of this month, Visit Cincy is having their annual meeting. You may want to attend because it'll talk about all the different conferences and conventions that are coming here. You may be interested in that. Look on the website for the exact time, but that's on the 21st of January. With that being said, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas?
Yes.
Commissioner Reese?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.